Good day. My name is Dr. Douglas Street. Welcome to another in the series Achieving Optimal Health. And we're going to be doing the second part of the presentation entitled Healing Now. During the first part of the presentation, we looked at how nutrition can affect our level of inflammation, the level of inflammation inside our bodies. We're going to be picking up where we left off. We had looked at how the different types of foods can influence our inflammation, either increasing it or in decreasing it. The way that we prepare our foods is also important in the effect it has on the level of inflammation inside our bodies. Frying foods, unfortunately, increases inflammation inside our bodies and should be limited or avoided. The times that we have our meals is also important in what effect it has on the inflammation inside our bodies as well. And what we find is that, as the saying goes, we should eat like a king in the morning, a prince at lunch, and a pauper in the evening. Having this pattern of eating is very beneficial and can keep inflammation in our bodies down to a safer level. And as a matter of fact, it has been found that intermittent fasting actually can reduce inflammation inside the body and can actually improve our health and also lengthen our lives. Persons who practice missing 2 meals per week, those persons have been found to have these benefits that we mentioned before. So fasting is not just of spiritual benefit, they do have health benefits as well. For persons who have chronic illnesses, it is especially important for them to practice this. So you should have minimal amount of food and minimal amount of calories in the evenings. Now, when we are resting, that is when healing normally takes place, which is why it's important to limit eating when it comes on to the evening time. A lot of persons have their main meals in the evening. That should not be. Whenever our bodies is processing food, it produces inflammation, and this inflammation can interfere with the healing process. That is why it's important not to have a heavy meal in the evenings, and also choose very careful what you have. A very healthy choice to make in the evenings is vegetables, because vegetables enhance healing. So this is an ideal time to have our vegetables, because it actually enhances the healing process. So the timing of our meals is also very important. The next thing that we're going to be working on is exercise. Just like nutrition, exercise can have a positive or a negative impact on inflammation inside our bodies. Inflammation should be done in moderation. It should be done usually between 20 to 30 minutes at a time, and it should be about 4 to 5 times per week. Over-exercise can actually increase inflammation inside the body, almost as much as under-exercising. So over-exercising and under-exercising can increase inflammation and should be avoided. Athletes sometimes suffer harm because their profession is usually related to exercise. So you'll find that they'll oftentimes suffer health problems as a result. And I'm sure many of us have heard of athletes who have just dropped down dead suddenly, and they seem to be very healthy. This is because overexercise harms the body and should be avoided. So you find persons who are exercising for 1 hour, 2 hours straight, it is not beneficial to the body at all. The types of exercise that we do is also very important. You should go for aerobic exercise. Exercise that don't put too much pressure on the body is ideal. These include things like swimming, cycling, and walking. Other forms of exercise are not so healthy, for example, basketball, volleyball, tennis. These forms of exercise put a lot of, and even football to some extent put a lot of pressure on the body, and we should be careful how we include this in our exercise routine. They put a lot of pressure on the joints, which can cause damage, so we should limit the amount of these forms of exercise that we do and go more with aerobic exercise. Next thing I'm going to be looking on is water. Usage of water is also very important in reducing inflammation inside of the body. It helps to reduce inflammation as well. For persons with chronic illnesses, you should go for more than the usual. We'll be looking at 10 to 12 glasses of water per day, especially, for example, in hypertension. This is the amount of water you should be going for per day. It allows for less pressure to be on the body's cleansing systems and will help to maintain good health. So water is very important. Next thing we're going to be looking on is sunshine. Again, sunshine can have beneficial effects on inflammation and negative. Sunshine between the hours of 10 and 4 o'clock is usually not healthy. It can actually trigger inflammation inside of the body. And especially for those persons, again with chronic illnesses, it is best to try and avoid the sun or spend as limited amount of time as possible in the sun during this time. The UV light can have a negative impact, and even sometimes if you're under a shade. If you're at the beach especially, you get sunlight both directly from the sun and from off the water and the sand. So you get double impact from the sunlight. You should try to get your sunlight either before 10 o'clock in the mornings or after 4. So if you're a farmer, for example, you go out early in the mornings, you do your work, and you try to get indoors by 10 o'clock. You can go back out in the evenings. But spending time in the sun during this time is not beneficial to your health. It's actually harmful. Now, you know that vitamin D is very important to our bodies, and sunlight helps our body to produce vitamin D. And vitamin D actually helps to reduce inflammation inside of the body. So we encourage persons to engage in exposing their bodies to the sunlight as long as it is healthy sunlight. Now, one of the important aspects of this process is temperance. Now, what is temperance? Temperance is basically using the right amount of the good things and none of the bad things. All right, so use everything in moderation. Whether it is nutrition, exercise, water, moderation is key. Now, we know that there are a lot of harmful substances out there which are not beneficial to our health. Alcohol is one of them, especially when used in excess. Smoking is also unhealthy and should be avoided. There's also recreational drugs. We don't need to go into all of that. There's marijuana, there's cocaine. These are harmful to our health and should be avoided. But what about chemicals that we use in our homes? Do we realize that a lot of the chemicals that we use in our everyday living is actually harmful to our health? One of the most commonly used harmful chemicals that we use in our homes are the cleaning chemicals. Yes, we're talking about things like bleach, disinfectants, and even the detergents. Cleaning chemicals have been found to cause a lot of harm to our bodies and should be used very, very carefully. Let's look at bleach. Bleach is a poison. And just as how cigarette smoking is a poison, bleach is a poison as well. And many of us use bleach on a daily basis, and quite excessively too. There are many persons who, for example, use bleach when they're washing their dishes. This is totally unnecessary. There are many persons who use bleach when they're washing their bathroom. Again, very unnecessary. Why do people think that they need to use bleach in these processes? Because they want to kill the germs, because they want to cause a place to smell fresh. But bleach usage is actually harmful to the body. If you check the bottle, you'll see bleach is a poison. There are other things that can be used in its place to achieve freshness that we're looking for. The bacteria that bleach kills are oftentimes beneficial to our bodies. And it has been found that children who grow up in homes where these products are used excessively are more likely to develop chronic illnesses like diabetes, hypertension, and high cholesterol, obesity. These have actually been found. When you use these products, it kills a lot of the healthy bacteria that should be getting into our systems. So you get a double negative effect from using cleaning chemicals. Number one, they do direct harm to our bodies, by increasing inflammation, which can cause damage, and they also kill the healthy bacteria that protect our bodies against the harmful ones. So cleaning chemicals should be avoided when possible, or very limited, only when necessary. Many of us use antibacterial soaps. It should not be. Antibacterial soaps are unnecessary, and they are harsh on our bodies, both internally and externally, which is part of the reason why we're getting so much antibacterial resistance nowadays, because of our usage of antibacterial soaps. Detergents, especially those which having enzymes, have actually been shown to trigger inflammation in our bodies, because these proteins that are in them are actually harmful. We use detergents with enzymes because they make our clothes look very nice and pretty. What about our bodies? They're harming our bodies when we use these things. So we should be very careful and preferably avoid detergents with enzymes in them. Best to use the ones that do not have any enzymes. Other chemicals that have been found to be harmful to our bodies are air fresheners. Yes, believe it or not, air fresheners can actually cause cancer. Air fresheners increase inflammation inside the body and should really be limited in our use. Even perfumes and our skin care products which contain perfumes, these substances increase inflammation inside of the body as well. And we should be very controlled in using them. As I keep saying, once, especially if you have a chronic illness, you should limit use of these things. Insecticides is another one. A lot of times we overuse these substances in our homes. We try to kill the cockroaches and the mosquitoes, and we also kill ourselves in the process. These chemicals are harmful and should be limited. We should try to avoid using these, and when possible, or use ones that are not harmful to our bodies. Very, very important. So we have to be very careful about, and there are many other chemicals that we use. Some of us have jobs that entail use of chemicals in cleaning and so on, and sometimes it is impossible to avoid, but we should be limited. Persons who work in industries that use cleaning chemicals they have high risk of cancers and chronic illnesses like arthritis. And a lot of us, we have illnesses that are actually related to using these chemicals. There are a lot of persons who get arthritis and diabetes and hypertension because of the improper use of these substances. So we should really try and avoid them as much as possible. I'll give you an example. I had a client recently. She was having severe back pains. She had even pinched nerves, and it kept getting worse and worse, not responding to medications. Started to wonder what it is that was causing this problem to persist and get worse. Upon inquiry, I found out that she was using bleach on a continual basis right throughout the day. She used it in the bathroom. When she would go to the bathroom to wash her hands, she used the bleach. Even when she was washing up her dishes, even when she's going to be using a glass, she was using the bleach. And I advised her to desist from using the bleach in this way. And I can tell you, she has noticed dramatic improvements in her symptoms just from that simple change. Before, she wasn't able to sleep because of the pains. And as a result of this change, she's now able to sleep much more comfortably. So bleach and cleaning chemicals, they are to be used very limited and should actually be avoided when possible. So it's very important to understand the impact that the choices that we have on a daily basis impact on our lives. We need to understand that we need to make good choices so that we can have beneficial impact on our health. And you'll find that many of the conditions that we just accept as part of getting older, they can actually improve significantly once you eliminate certain things out of your diet and your lifestyle. So we're going to be closing the second part of this presentation. We're going to be continuing. So stay tuned. We have much more to discuss. Thank you very much.